He's a contradiction on this side of the mirror because to be loved, to matter, is something intensely felt and never so much more than when it is absent. When God created the plants and the vegetation, he spoke to the earth. When God created sea creatures, he spoke to the oceans and the seas. But when he created us, he spoke to himself. Let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness. The relationship between any individual thing and where it is created from is a relationship of greater and lesser. The lesser, like a fish, detached from its source of creation, dies. So a fish out of the ocean dies, but the ocean still remains. A tree or bush out of the earth dies, but the earth still remains. Likewise, a man out of God dies long before physical death, but God, of course, still remains. That's the sad news. Without God, any one of us can die, and many, many do, and they join the ranks of the living dead. The good news? There is a God who can raise us from the dead, and oftentimes does. The fish is devoured. The tree rots. But the man who is the living dead, he always has a future, such as the supernatural virtue of hope that St. Paul speaks of just before Roman Emperor Nero cut his head off. The, shall we call it untidy? The untidy part of resurrection is the emotional messiness of it all, the grappling with it all, the oftentimes long process it all entails. In short, the reflection looking back at us from that mirror. We don't really recognize it. That seems kind of mysterious to us, and it should be mysterious. That reflection is a corpse, but this side of the mirror is the man who knows on some level that corpse is not supposed to be there and can't really process or understand why it is. But the reflection, it's not real. It doesn't have its own separate existence. What it does not have is love. And on that level, the reflection is true and accurate because a man without love is a living corpse. He's a contradiction on this side of the mirror because to be loved, to matter, is something intensely felt and never so much more than when it is absent. Resurrection, therefore, necessarily entails transforming the reflection into the reality, to align, bring in an alignment, the source from which we were created. Jesus Christ's resurrection was merely physical because he had no need of any other type of resurrection and was therefore, boom, instantaneous because the physical world is far easier to change. Ours is spiritual and emotional and even intellectual, and all of that is far more difficult, even resistant to change. Coming to you from Houston, Texas, I'm Michael Voris. God love you.